Arihi Om Sanno Mitrasam Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanvam Avatu Tadbhaktaram Avatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti 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 Namasabhaye. Sanatana Dharma 101 class continues. So we have so far understood the structure of Vedas. Vedas, while the general knowledge on Vedas is that Vedas are used for rituals. Some Purohit comes. Purohits have undergone these Vedic studies for 5 to 8 years, depending upon whether they are a Samhita Party or Pada Party or Krama Party. So normally it is 5 to 7 to 8 years. Then they do Vikruti Patha, whether it is Jata, Gana, Mala, like that. So depending upon the interest. So normally the people who come for practices, ritual practices, do at least up to Kramapata. So that takes up to 5 to 6 years. And then they go and learn prayogas. It consists of academic training, that is like studying continuously from the age of 7 or 8 until 15. So to memorize the Saptakhanda and then the Kramapatas, that is once they study the anthology parts, the Samhita Bhaga, then they study the Vedas by understanding each word, that is Padapata. And then Padapata leads to Kramapata. So these are done so that you don't miss any syllable in Veda. So they are known as Kramapati. That takes anywhere between 5 to 7 years. And then that is basically classroom training. Then they get attached to a practitioner who is a Purohita. Even though these students are taught these prayogas, the practical aspects, they get attached to some actual practitioners and then they become like what we call as juniors. Or in chartered accountancy you call it as internships. In engineering you call internships. So do these Kramapatis who have learnt the Vedas by memory get attached to some practitioners who are practicing for a number of years so that they know the prayogas. Not all the Veda Bhagas what they have studied in the classroom will be of use in prayoga. There are 40 samskaras. Samyak kriyate iti samskara. Not only you do it well, you do these rituals to make yourself better, to refine yourself. Hence these are known as samskaras. These samskaras start traditionally from Nishedha Muhurta all the way up to Agni Samskara in Apara Kriya. So they are 40. These are classified into Purva Bhaga and Apara Bhaga. So Vedas are taught Ucharana, Anu Ucharana. Some teacher teaches and then the disciples learn it. So how do they do? For one Paksha, for 15 days, they learn from a tutor. Then while they learn in the morning, 50 words. Normally it is called Panchashati. The colloquial word is Panjadi. In the morning, these students learn. And then in the afternoon, they recite what they have learned so that it gets into memory. Avruti. So they do repeat. Normally the classes, it's not Saturday, Sunday holiday. They are normally on a Paurnamasa, Amavasa day, and Prathama, and Ashtami and Chaturdasi. Like there are 4 holidays in a month for Sunday and 4 holidays in Saturday, you have Krishna Paksha, Sukla Paksha, Amavasa, Paurnami, Pratama, Chaturdasi, the Pradosha Dina, Masa Pradosha, and then Ashtami Din. So in Paurnami and Amavasa, some scholars say you can do repeat recitation, but you don't do anything on Ashtami and Pradama. That is off the limits. But in Chaturdasi, some tutors they teach, but not on Pradama days and Ashtami. Those are, so you get 2 Ashtami and 2 Pradama, so 4 days are off. Then Amavasa Paurnami, you can do your revision, and Chaturdasi, that is Pradosham. So 8 holidays. So like Saturdays and Sundays, 8 holidays in a month, you get these 8 holidays, and that's how you learn. So the Vedas are divided into Samhita Bhagas, Brahmana Bhaga, Aranyakam. Then the last portion of Aranyakam, from 5th Prasna of Aranyakam, you can call them as a separate portion called Upanishad, or you can call it as a tail end of Aranyakas. So Samhita, Brahmana are explanatory trust, Aranyas are in self-understanding Bhaga, and Upanishads are nothing but to knowing the Supreme Parabrahman. And the Vedas, in terms of learning, normally the Samhita portion, the Padapata and Kramapata, you don't twist them. So they are Kramapata. Whereas when it comes to Jata, Mala, Ghana, you twist them. In a word, you take the first pada, second pada, third pada, then third pada, second pada, first pada. So you rotate them. So it is called as Vikriti Pata. Why they did it is because in those days there were no writing. So you have to, everything managrahyameva. So you have to get it in your mind. So they did all sorts of permutations and combinations so that the words don't get twisted, the words don't get misspelled. So they did this Vikriti Pata. But there is one understanding that Vedas should be only recited as Samhita Bhaga, because who are we to twist? But there are different schools of thought where they say that Vikriti Pata gives more phala. So if you do Jata, it gives X times more than ordinary recitation. If you do Ganapata, it gives XX times the phala of general recitation. So there are different schools of thoughts. In Vaishnava tradition, where I belong to, normally we don't go much for Vikriti Pata. Everybody studies up to Kramapata, but in Smartha Paddhati, the more importance these days is attached to Jataparayana and Ganaparayana. So either way it is fine. So that is only Sampradaya Bheda. Okay, so that is how the Vedas are. And Vedas, so far Vedas, the understanding we have, that's a general understanding, ubiquitous understanding, is basically these Vedas are used for rituals. We are using rituals these days, but originally Vedas are meant for way of life. So in that way, Vedas can be divided into 3 aspects. Normally they say 2 aspects: Karma Kanda portion of Veda and Brahma Kanda or Jnana Kanda. But there is also another school of thought that within Karma Kanda, although very limited, there are portions of Veda which are used for Devata Upasana. Although the Karma Kanda Bhaga is predominantly for doing rituals, predominantly Srauta Karma. What is said in the Shruti, Srauta Karma, predominantly starting from Darsha Purnamasa Ishti to Athiratriam to Rajasuyam, Athiratram. 7th Kanda talks about Athiratram, and then it finishes with Ashwamedha. So that is all Karma Kanda. But within this portion, there are mentions and invoking of Devatas. So those mantra bhagas, we use it both in Srauta Karma and Smartha Karma. So the school where I studied, they also give specific importance to certain mantra bhagas, which are used to invoke devatas, even though they are part of samhita, and that is known as upasana kanda or upasana mantra. So karma kanda mantra, upasana kanda mantra, और ब्रह्म कांड अथवा ज्ञान कांड मंत्र. Upasana mantra in Samhita Bhaga is very limited, and one such thing is we do it in two major prayoga we do in all Agni related karma. You do the blessings. It's not an actual punyaha vachanam. You do the blessings. You invoke the blessings, and if you are doing any samarpanam, you do what is called as you invoke the Trivikrama Devata. Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Treda Nidade Padam Samudamasya Pagum Sure Swaha with Swaha Karam. So this is basically a rig invoking Vishnu Trivikrama, but this is used as Punyaha Vachana or Prayachitta Bhaga, because Trivikrama kept his foot in every aspects of this universe. Akhanda universe mein, he made the entire universe pious. So we use this mantra, which is basically a mantra in prayer of Vishnu, Trivikrama, Vamana, either way. But this mantra is used predominantly in almost all prayogas, wherever you have to do some punyaha vachanam, or we are giving some Hiranyagarbhagarbhastam Hema Bijam Vibhavasoho Ananta Punyapaladam Adashantim Prayaschame. Like that you are giving dana. Na? There you also invoke blessings onto that the samagri, onto that material you give for dana. You invoke Vishnu Devata. Wherever you invoke Vishnu Devata, Idam Vishtur Vichakrame Treda Nidade Padam Samudamasya Pagum Shure, that is invoked. So this is available both in Yajurveda and also in Rigveda. Similarly, the portion, there are some texts, some rigs that are available in Upanishad, they also are available in Yajurveda as well as Rigveda. So those are all predominantly, if it is available in Upanishad Bhaga, they are nothing but Brahma Jnana, Jnana and Brahma, but they are also used in Upasana Kanda. And one thing is very common one, in Kathopanishad there is a rig called Agnenaya Supataraye Asman Viswani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yuyojasma Juhurana Menaha Bhuyushtante Nama Vuktim Videme. Upari, I pray before you, I give my obeisance to you multiple times. You are praying to Agni, Agram Nayati iti Agni, the Lord that takes you forward. Agni Avamo Devata, the God which is very proximate to you. Avamo means you should not say lower here, the God that is very proximate. So this mantra is used in all, even in Shraddha and everything, as Agni Upasthana. You are thanking Agni and then letting Agni go. But this mantra is basically a upasana mantra, but it is used in prayoga. So that is known as upasana mantra. So, but predominantly the Saptakanda as karma. It starts with Darshapurna Ishti. So, Ishet Vorjetva Vayavasto Vayavasta Devo Vasavita Prapyatu Prarpayatu Shreshtatamaya Karmana Apyayamagni Deva Bhaga Murjaswati Payaswati Prajavati Ranamiva Ayasmam. That 50 words is basically Darshapurna Ishti. So that it starts and then it ends, the Saptama Kanda ends with Ashwamedha mantra. That Samudro Bandhuhu, it talks about Ashwa. Ashwa mane, here it is symbolic form of representing valor, strength. So that is Karma Bhaga. There within Karma Bhaga mantras, you have Upasana mantras. And then, whether you take Upanishad as separate or it is the tail end of Aranyaka from 5th Prashna, you can either say these Upasana mantras invoking Narayana. We call it as Narayana Upanishad. That comes in Upanishad. There is no separate name called Narayana Upanishad. But later days, people, because it is invoking Lord Narayana, you call it as Narayana Upanishad, but it's basically an Aranya Bhaga. Similarly, the Purusha Sukta, in Rig Veda, it comes in the 10th mandala, athava 8th ashtaka. Whereas in Yajurveda Bhag, that 16 rigs are there, 16 two line. That 16 rigs are available in the third Prashna of Aranyaka. That is divided into two Anuvaka, Purva Narayanam and Uttara Narayanam. So two Anuvakas of Purusha Sukta, 16 rigs. So then Upanishad gives you, if you consider it part of Aranyakam, you are also doing Upasana. And Purusha Suktam, there are three major Suktams which talks about the Supreme, the beginning of the world, the one who created the world, the one who protects the world, and to one the entire world rests in Pralaya. So those kind of understanding is known as Adhyatma Sukta. So there are three major suktas in Veda that talk about the supreme personality, supreme Godhead, supreme Brahman. The entire text talks about it, but specifically there are three major suktas, and the most important of all the sukta is Purusha Sukta. Purusha mane Brahman, supreme. So why Purusha Sukta? Purusha Sukta is the only one that is available in all Vedas. In all Vedas, in all Shakas. So, Sarva Vedeshu Patyate. Purusha Suktam is read in all Vedas. It may, in Sama Veda, it may be 5 rigs. Whereas in Rig Veda, it is 18 rigs. Shukla Yajurveda, it may be different. But Purusha Suktam is there. And that is the reason Purusha Suktam is very important. Most importantly, it talks about the nature of the Supreme. The Supreme Brahman or Brahman, either way. In English you write Brahman, Brahman. So Purusha Suktam Sarva Vedeshu Patyate. This comes in the Aranyaka Bhaga of Yajurveda, or it comes in the 10th mandala or 8th ashtaka of Rigveda. So today's class is the understanding of sacred text. So that is the lecture today. So the Vedas can be divided into, according to the structure, as Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka and Upanishad. The structural understanding. The way how you recite, you are given as the Samhita Pata or Prakriti Pata or Vrikriti Pata. In Prakriti Pata means natural way of recitation. It is Samhita. Repeatedly you are staying like a coach in a train. You don't change or you don't cut the wagon. It keeps on going. Juk, 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 juk. That is known as Prakriti Pata. In Prakriti Pata you have Samhita Patam, and then comes Pada Patam, and then the third one is Krama Patam. So you divide the Samhita, the phrases, into words. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. Ishye, Urje, Tva. So you now break the phrase. Ishet, Urje, Tva. That is one phrase in Samhita. That you cut. Ishe, Urje, Tva. Ishet, Urje, Tva. That is Pada. You cut it into words. Then 1, 2, 3. You take 3 Pada, coin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That is known as Krama. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Like that it is Krama. Then there is something called Jata, Mala, Gana. So you twist 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Like that 12 different times. If you keep on rotating, it is known as Ganapata. All these Vikritis you only do for Samhita Bhaga. You don't do for Upanishads. You don't do for Brahmana. You don't do it. You only do for the anthology portion of Veda. So you only do for Saptakanda. So you are allowed to do the Ganapata or Kramapata or Jataparayana for Rudra Bhag. Similarly for Chamaka Bhag, you are allowed to do, because Rudra and Chamaka are in the 4th Kanda. They are in the 4th Kanda of Yajurveda. They are in the Madhya portion. So Rudra Bhaga is in the Madhya portion of Samhita text. So Jataparayana and Ganaparayana of Rudra is very famous. And then when you are doing yaga, when you are doing not yaga, which is known as Vasodhara, when you are doing Vasodhara means you are praying the devatas to bless you with lot of vasu, lot of material, with ajyam. Then you recite chamaka. So the chamaka is part of Vasodhara yajna. So vasuni dharati. So dharayati iti Vasodhara. So there you use these chamaka mantras in the presence of ajyam. Ajyam mane grita. Grita mane clarified butter. So that comes in the 4th kanda, 7th prashna. 4th kanda, 5th prashna is Rudra Bhaga. Rudra Mantram. So that Rudra Mantram is part of Yajna where they are building the Vedic altar. So even though it is invoking the Rudra Devata, whereas in strict Vedic sense, that Rudra Mantra is used when they do yaga, they are building the big Havan, Vedic, the altar. There when they do build the brick stone, it is known as in Vedic language and in Sanskrit it is known as Ittika. So when they are layering the Ishtika to build the Vedic altar, they are invoking the God who is nothing but Rudra, Rudam Drayati iti Rudraha, the one who takes away from our crying. So that is known as Rudra Devata. So you are invoking the Rudra Devata by giving Namas Sabdam. So you are saying Namas Sambhave. So Namas Shivaya, that takes root from this Vedic Rudra Bhaga. So you invoke the Rudra Devata in different forms as a protector for your yajna. So that, but then it became that is what I said. Even though that is a karma bhaga, that is what I am coming. So this Rudra is Rudra Mantra. It is basically, then they named it as Rudra Prashna. The Prashna means the chapter is on this Shambhu Mangalam Namo Hiranyabhave Senanyapataye Namaha. It starts like that with Namas Shabdartham, multiple Nama. So that is used in a yajna to build the yajna Havana Kunda in simple way, but it is a Vedic altar. But that is used as a regular invoking mantra during every pratosha on Lord Shiva. So that became, even though it is a karma bhaga mantra, that became upasana mantra. You see? And similarly in all daily rituals, they invoke one particular stanza of Chamaka that comes in the 4th kanda, 7th prashna. Okay, so then the Chamaka mantra is only for praying the devatas to bless you with bounties. But you say, let today be Sudinanchame. So you invoke every day when you do the puja, you do this aspect of Chamaka mantra to invoke the Lord to bless you with good day. Idinam Sudinanchame. So that again becomes Upasana mantra. So like that, depending upon the circumstances, the karma bhaga becomes upasana bhaga. So in my studies, the tutor where I studied, he was very particular that normally they say it is karma bhaga and jnana bhaga or brahma bhaga, but the tutor was very particular. My line of studies, the gurus and others from that lineage, they always bring this, that karma bhaga, upasana bhaga, aur brahma athava jnana marga. So that is one way. The second way is how you recite. That is, I told you, prakriti pata, vikriti pata. Then comes how you recite. But the important thing, Vedanam dhvani revacha. Vedas are only our shabda. Vak, but more than vak, the ucharana, swara ucharana of Veda is very important. Veda itself says, Vagvai adbhutam. Brahmana bhagam says, Devi imvacham ajanayanta devaha tam vishwarupa pashavo vadanti. In Brahmana bhaga, it says Devi imvacham. Vacham, the word itself is Devi. Okay, but this mantra again is meant for purifying the the offering. So like that, those mantras were used for different aspect, but now the same mantras we are using for auspiciousness. So what we say when we start any lecture, okay, you go to any samvad, you are now going to any debate society. If it is on Sanskrit, on Samskriti, or on Veda, this is what the chairperson of that conference will say. Devim vacham ajanayanta devah tam vishwarupa pashavo vadanti. And Veda says the sabda, what you are listening, is the fourth form. There are three different forms that is taking place. I don't know. I am not a physiologist. So to get this word from your tongue, it starts from the udhara. It starts that the origination of the sound starts from your tummy, and then it builds, and when it comes to through the tongue, and then you are hearing, it is in the fourth form. Chatvaro manushya vadanti. The form of word what you hear is the fourth form, that is refined form. So there are already three different forms of speeches which as ordinary manush we cannot hear. So Veda also thinks about certain things which is beyond our comprehension. Okay, so Vedas are, according to structure, they are given as Samhitas, Brahmanas, Aranyakas and Vedantas. And according to how you recite, they are given as Prakriti Pata and Vikriti Pata. In Prakriti Pata, it is Samhita Pata, Pada Pata, Krama Pata. And then Vikriti Pata comes Jata, Mala, Rekha, Ghana and other Ratha and different forms. Okay. And then in terms of how they are divided, they are predominantly divided into Karma Kanda or Brahma Athava Jnana Kanda. But my school of thought where I studied, we also bring in what is called as Upasana Kanda. Similarly, the Karma Kanda Bhaga, fourth Kanda, fifth Prasna, fourth Kanda, seventh Prasna. Fourth Kanda, seventh Prasna is basically Karma Kanda Prasna. But they are now used invariably. If anybody is studying Veda, these days they actually teach you three things very important. Purusha Sukta, Rudra Bhaga, Chamaka Bhaga. At least learn Purusha Suktam, at least learn Rudra, and at least learn Chamaka portion. Rudra Bhaga is invariably recited in Shiva temples. When you do the Abhisheka for Shiva, the portion that is recited is known as Rudra portion. Most importantly in Masa Pradosha. In Trayodasi, Chaturdashi, no, that time. Pradosha Kalme, when they do this Abhishek for Shiva Linga, Rudra is recited. So it is universally used. And then in terms of Vishnu temples, Purusha Sukta is recited during Abhishek. So, and in Abhishek, this Purusha Sukta and the Rudra mantra are used in Abhishek. What is that prayoga? During Abhisheka prayoga, depending upon what devata you are praying, depending whether it is Rudra devata or Vishnu devata. If it is Vishnu devata, it is Purusha Suktam, and then Narayana Suktam, Sri Suktam, Vishnu Suktam, depending upon the time. And Taitriya Upanishads. So they recite everything depending upon the length of the Abhishekam. But if it is a small daily ritualistic Abhishekam, they only use Purusha Suktam, Narayana Suktam, and first stanza of Vishnu Suktam. So these are used on a daily basis, even though these are based on Karmakanda Bhagas. You see my point? So when these Karmakanda Bhagas are used for like these Devata Aradhana, you can call them as Upasana Kanda Slokas or Upasana Kanda Mantras. Okay, and the one thing is in Shraddha. In Shraddha, you invoke Lord Vishnu using Idam Vishnur Vichakrame mantra. Similarly, when you are sending the Agni to his Yathasthana, you use Agni Upasthana. That Agni Upasthana Rik, Agnenaya Supataraye Asman Viswani Deva Vayunani Vidwan Yuyojyasmad Juhuranam Yenaha Bhuyishtan Tenama Vuktim Videma. Beautiful mantra. What you say? Agne Naya Supata Raye. You give me Naya Supata Raye. Raya mane wealth. Hey Agni, you give me wealth in a good path by taking my mind in a good path. Jugurana means crooked. Don't take my mind in the crooked path. Hey Agni, may my mind be in a straight path. In the straight path, that means according to dharmic way, let me get the wealth. That wealth need to be used for good purpose. Agnenaya supata supanta. In a good way, in a dharmic way, hey Lord, let me make the money. Do not take my mind in a juhuranam means crooked. Yenam means agham, papam. Don't take me to do bad things. Don't take me in a crooked way. You only show me a good way. Because you have shown me good way, ye Agni Devata, you please go to your heavenly abode. So you do it as Agni Upasthana. You see, these are very important. So the Purohit always recites it. Agnenaya Supatara ye asman. So for your notes, what you do? Agnenaya mantra. Just put it. This mantra, what I am telling is, this mantra is available in Yajurveda, Samhita Bhaga. But it is also available in Kathopanishads. Kathopanishad is the smallest Upanishad. So this is also coming in Kathopanishad. So Kathopanishad is Brahma Bhaga. But that Brahma Bhaga mantra is also in the Karma Kanda Bhaga. So there are some intermixes that happen. So, but depending upon the circumstances how you utilize these mantras, you have to understand, even though this is Brahma Kanda, I am using it for Upasana. In Shraddha, invariably, in every Shraddha, at the end of the Shraddha, okay, you finish the Shraddha, the Brahman Bhoj karke jata hai. Then you have to send Agni Upasthana, means you send that Upasthana means Yatasthanam. You wrap it up. Then you use this mantra. Okay, so that is one thing. And then Purusha Sukta is Sarva Prayachittartham. There are Pancha Mahapataka, Guru Talpagaman, Swarna, you steal the Swarna, you steal money, and then you do harm to a learned person, you kill Pashu, and you do bad things with other women. These are all Pancha Mahapatakas. There is no escape from this. There is no escape. But Purusha Sukta, recitation of Purusha Sukta in multiple forms, lessens the wrath of these papas. But you cannot escape Pancha Mahapatakas. Pataka means papa. But by doing Purusha Sukta Yajna, by reciting Purusha Sukta, you are trying to lessen the burden of papa. So, for any prayachittartham, Purusha Suktam is used. One important thing is when you are doing Preda Samskara. So, when you are doing the Antima Samskara, Agni Samskara for Preda in Aparabhaga, you have to do Purusha Sukta Yajna using Ajyam, using ghee for Preda, to make sure that any papa this Preda has done, this person has done, while he was living, this Purusha Sukta Yajna is done as a Sarva Prayachittartha Homam. So that much is important. Purusha Suktam is done for Sarva Prayachittartham in Apara Samskara. And Purusha Sukta mantra is also recited in all Mangala functions. So when you are doing a Vivah for your Putra or Putri, you are assembling the friends and you are assembling your Nyatis, you are assembling your family. You are going to bless this Vadu and Var. Okay, prior to the Vivah, you are going to bless these people. When the Bhadi Sabha, everybody is assembled, they recite one stanza, important stanza, where it tells, I have understood what Brahman is. What has that got to do with Vivah? But that's very important. This Vivah is happening in the presence of Supreme. I have understood the Supreme. Vedahametam Purusham Mahantam Adhitya Varnam Tamasastu Pare. That two Anuvakas they recite. So Purusha Sukta is also used for Sarva Prayachittartham. Purusha Suktam is also used to invoke the blessings of Devata in any auspicious function. See, because Vedas are important. How you use it, how are you going to prayog, that is more important. So we have seen about Purusha Sukta mantra. We have seen about Rudra Bhag. We have seen about Chamaka Bhag. Sometimes some rigs from Upanishads are used in Upasana. Sometimes some rigs from Upanishads are used in Karma Bhag. Because Vivahi is Smartha Karma. There are two different types of karma I have stated. One is Srauta Karma, that is only yagas prescribed in Veda. And Annaprasana, Jata Karma, Annaprasana, Shaula, Upanayana, Pumsuvana, Simanta, Garbhadana, all these are Smartha Karmas. Only Rishis prescribed based on Griha or Grihya Sutra. Okay, Srauta Karma are only big yagas to attain heavenly. Jyotishtomam, Jyotish Swarga Kame Jeta. If you want to go to heaven, do what is called as Jyotishoma. Those are all Srauta. Whereas these 40 samskaras prescribed by Rishis are known as Smartha Karma. So in Smartha Karmas, these Rishis, out of their kindness, plucked all these mantras from everywhere. And then they made it as a book. Okay, if it is going to be for Vivaha, you use this mantra. Sumangaliriyam vaturimagum same pradapashyatam saubha agyamasya idatvayata vitaretana. That means blessing. Sumangaliriyam vatu. This lady is Sumangali. Let Saumangalyatvam be with this lady forever. That is there. Then there is a mantra in Veda that talks about one particular Anuradha nakshatra. Anusha. So in that Anusha, Veda says if you pray to this nakshatra Anuradha, you will get 100 years. Okay, this is somewhere in Brahmana Bhaga. Normally these nakshatra mantras are in the third Ashtaka Pratama Prashna. Somewhere in Brahmana Bhaga. Whereas the Rishis got these mantras and they are using for every blessing. When a Purohit comes to your house, he will use this mantra to bless you. Because this mantra says, may this deity give you 100 years. Ridyas mahavyai namaso pasadya mitrandhevam mitrade yanno astu anuradha avisha vardhayantaha shatam anuradhan avisha vardhayantaha shatam jivema sharadassa veera. Look, shatam jivema sharadassa veeraha. Hey Anuradha, you grant 100 years with valor to this person. So that is somewhere in the Veda Bhag, Brahmana Bhag. We cannot do it. The Rishis plucked this, but this is the mantra the Purohit says in every Mangala Sasana, in every Shubha Karya, he gives you Pushpa. Okay, so he will give you Mrs. Maheshwari or you too. They will give you Pushpa and Akshata and they say put it on the youngsters. But when you are putting on the youngster, the Purohit will recite this. So this is from one aspect of Veda. Rudyas mahavyai namaso pasadya mitran devam mitrade enno astu anuradhana visha vardhayantaha satam jive masaradassa veera. Similarly, in Ashwamedha Bhag, this mantra comes. This is universally used for Akshata. Shatamanam bhavati shatayah purushaha. That comes in Ashwamedha Prashna. So, that is how Vedas are used. Vedas have meaning. Then, the most important aspect of Hindu wedding is Panigrihana और Saptapati. Agni ko सात फेरी करना. वो mantra is in the Brahmana Bhag. Third Ashtaka, seventh Prashna. So you write third Ashtaka, seventh Prashna of Brahmana is the one that solidifies a Veda portion in third Ashtaka. seventh Prashna. That is what solidifies Hindu wedding. It's not Mangalya Dharanam. Sometimes in North India, in some tradition, they don't use Mangala Sutra. Some traditions. They only do Panigrihana or Saptaperi surrounding Agni. You go 7 times. That mantra is the one that solidifies Hindu marriage. Agni Sakshi karke Agni ko you pradakshana karna. Why Vivah's consolidation. That mantra is in Veda Bhag. Right? There you invoke Vishnu. Hey Vishnu, first give me every strength. Ekamishe Vishnutvan vetu dveyu urje Vishnutvan vetu. Then, like that, in the 7th step, hey Vishnu, let me and my wife or my partner be friends. You bless us. That's how Hindu Vivag. Hindu Vivag asks the deity that myself and my partner get all the nourishment so that we will do things according to Dharma. To do that, hey Vishnu, you protect us so that we are friends for life. Sapta Sakha Bhava. So that is the greatest thing of Hindu Vivaha is it is not asking women to be servant to men or men as a servant to women. No. It says men and women are friends. Sapta Sakha Bhava. That is the consolidation. Once you do that, you are telling to the new wedded couple, you live like Vasishta and Arundhati. How beautiful it is. So that's why you see the Arundhati and Vasishta. After you do this Satperi, the Vadu and Var are asked to see the sky where the Arundhati Nakshatra is there in constellation. So you see, okay, I need to be like Vasishta and Arundhati. That is Vivaha. So everything. So the purpose of sacred texts. That is the reason you need to understand the meaning. Vedas alone are not enough to understand the meaning. Vedas are alone not enough to understand the meaning. So you need to understand Vedas. If you understand Vedas, Vedangas and Vedantas come. Siksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirutta, Kalpa and Jyotisha. There are 6 angas to Vedas. Siksha, Nirutta, Vyakarana, Jyotish, Chanda or Kalpa. Okay? So, Nirutta is etymology, how words are coming, Vyutpatti. Chanda, how they are put in meter. Jyotisha means astronomy. It is not astrology, it is astronomy. But in nowadays we call Jyotish is astronomy. It's part of it. But the Jyotisha in this means it tells you to understand the nature of the days to do Srauta Karma. Not like whether I will make money, when will my health improve. Those are all not there. This Jyotisha was meant so that you pick the good days to do Havan and Yajna and things like that. And Vyakarana, how these words are grammatically arranged. Siksha means phonetics, how you have to pronounce the word. Siksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirutta, Kalpa means the procedure to do Yajna Yagas. Siksha, Vyakarana, Chandas, Nirutta, Kalpa, Jyotisha, Shadanga. Veda, Vedanta, Vedanga. Then the explanation of Vedas come in Itihasa and Purana. And later days, much simple understanding of uniting with Brahman, understanding the Brahman comes with Bhakti text. So, what is Veda? What is Veda? So, what are Vedas? I give you a Sanskrit phrase, listen please. Pratyakshadhya vishayam ishtaprapti upayam jyotishtomadhi karma nishta pariharopayam kalanja bhakshana varjanadikam cha yena vidhanti sa vedaha. Don't worry, I'll explain you. What is Veda? Vedas are those that tell you things which you cannot see. Pratyakshadi avishayam. What are the things you could not see with your sight? What are the things which you cannot do by interpolation? Anuman. You cannot do Anuman. Those things are given in Veda. So they are gospel. Pratyakshadhya vishayam ishtaprapti. You want to do good in life? Satyam vada dharmanchara. That is ishtaprapti upayam. Ishtaprapti upayam batane wala granth वही Ved. And then it also tells about lot of homas. Jyotishtoma. If you want to go to Swarga, you do what is called as Jyotishtoma. Vasante vasante Jyotishtoma yajeta. Every springtime you do Jyotistomam. So Jyotistomadi karma nishtha parihara upayam. Kalanja bhakshana varjanadikam. That is important. Kalanjana means spoiled food, poisoned food. Kalanjana means poisoned, spoiled, bekar food. Kalanja bhakshana varjanadikam. What are the things you should not do? It just tells you food. Don't eat spoiled food. Ahara niyamam. All these day-to-day life. Kalanja bhakshana varjanadikam cha yena vidhanti. All these things are told in Veda. Pratyakshadhya vishayam ishtaprapti upayam jyotishtomadika parihara upayam kalanja bhakshanadi varjanadikam cha yena vidhanti sa vedaha. Vedaha iti vitajnane. Understand? But all these, don't worry, nobody is going to ask, recite these phrases. But what are Vedas? If a question comes, what are Vedas? Vedas tell us things which cannot be understood. Pratyakshadhya vishayam. Vedas tell us the methods to see good things. Ishtaprapti upayam. And it also tells about many yagas. And one such yaga is Jyotishtoma. Jyotishtoma. And it also helps us to tell how to live. For example, why not to eat poisoned food or spoiled food. That word poisoned or spoiled in Sanskrit is known as kalanja. Kalanja bhakshana varjana. Varjana means to not to eat. Varjit. Kalanja bhakshana varjanadikam yena vidanti saveda. Then pratyakshena anumityava yastu upayona buddhyate. Vedas tell things which cannot be seen. Pratyakshena. Prati akshena. Pratyaksham mane prati akshena. In front. Akshay means eyes. Pratyakshena, anuman karna. Anuman means you understand and then you interpolate and extrapolate. Anuman. Those things that cannot be done by anumana. How do you say there is for dhumo vannihi? An example. If there is smoke coming from that place, that means fire is there. Dhumo vanni. Vanni mane fire. Dhum, smoke. If there is smoke coming, then you say fire is happening. So that is Anumana. But you are not near that place. You even 1 mile away, smoke comes. That means somewhere fire is happening. So you can interpolate yourself. Oh, there must be some fire going on. Dhumo vanni, anumana. You cannot do by nearly seeing anything. Those things that cannot be understood, those things that cannot be understood by your mind or by seeing, that is given in Veda. Pratyakshena anuman yastu upayo na buddhyate. We don't understand by pratyaksha, anuman, or by even thinking, interpolating. Those things are given in Veda. Yenam vidanti vedena. All the things that cannot be understood, that cannot be seen, that cannot be inferred. Anumana means inference. Dhumo vanni yatha. Yenam vidanti vedena tasmat vedasya vedata. What is Veda? Two definitions of Veda. What cannot be seen, what cannot be understood, what cannot be inferred. Pratyakshena anumityava yastupayo na buddhyate yenam vidhanti vedena tasmat vedasya vedata. Then the other thing is pratyakshadhya vishayam ishtaprapti upayam jyotishtomadi ishtaparihara upayam kalanja bhakshana varjanadikam. Yena vidanti sa Veda. Two different definitions. So this question will come. What are Vedas? Vedas are the basic scriptures for Sanatana Dharma. First point. Then Vedas tell us things which cannot be seen, which cannot be understood, which cannot be inferred. Then Vedas tell us method to do ishta. If you want to get something done, it has some upaya, like Jyotishtoma. And it also tells us what to do and what not to do. What to do, like doing Jyotishtoma. Vasante, Vasante, Jyotishtoma yajeta. Every spring say, like every spring we have to do Jyotishtoma if you want to be prosperous. And it also tells don't eat spoil food. Kalanja bhakshana varjanadikam yena vidanti sa Vedaha. So Vedas not only are used to do Srauta Karya and Smartha Karya. Vedas give the way to live life. And Vedas tell you to understand things which cannot be understood otherwise by human mind. Don't ask, that is gospel. In every religion, if they say gospel, it is with uttermost faith you follow the text. What is a gospel? A gospel is for every religious follower the text which you do not question. So for Sanatanis, the gospel is Veda. Likewise, every religion has their own gospel. And the root meaning of Veda is vitagnyane. It is a verb, to know. So it leaves you blank. To know what? To know good things, to know God, to know what to do, to know what not to do. So that is known as Veda. And all the Veda mantras only seek the good things. That is the reason in all rituals, these Rishis have cherry-picked the Vedas. It may not be directly related to what is that? Vivaha is Mangala Sutra Dharana. What has that got to do with saying Vedaha metam? No. If you have to do this auspicious thing, first and foremost, you have to understand that there is Supreme Being. That is why you invoke certain Vedic mantras. Right? So, the importance of sacred text, Vedas. Right? So, that is the class today. Sahana vavatu, sahanau bhunattu, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Mangalam bhavatu.